So let's get right into it. I'm gonna go back in time a little bit. I think we moved forward a little fast, where we left off last time. But mainly, you guys were in the plaza helping everyone who was injured, and kind of going from place to place, um, checking on everyone to see if everyone was all right and healing people. Right? Does that sound about right?
Yep.
I yeah, I had left the plaza and gone to the temple, but yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So, as you guys are helping everyone who suffered casualties during that whole exchange, the strange incursion that the city has suffered, um, some of you are still sort of reeling from what happened and trying to figure out what happened, and you're all probably spending time in the plaza still when someone comes up to Ramiel and says, "It seems to be a messenger." Um, and they say to you, Ramiel, your house has summoned you. And it seems odd because typically they would have said that your father is summoning you, not your house. So that immediately triggers a sort of a red flag for you.
This sounds pretty serious. Lead me to my household.
What did you say? I missed the end.
I said, please, lead me to my household.
Okay. Now, Apuk, you saw this. You saw this occurring, and you had been charged by Ramiel's house um, with some task. Do you want to try to go with?
Yeah, I would definitely follow him.
Okay.
Like, willingly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not shadowily. Like, yeah, I'm along for the ride. I'm coming. You can't leave without me.
Is that all right with you, Ramiel?
I'm so confused, Apuk. Why are you coming with me?
It's important.
I'll take your word for it.
So the messenger leads you through. You're pretty close to the ward of the city with the most wealthy merchants and nobles, and this part of the city is clad in gold, pretty much. But it seems like even this part of the city did not escape the horrors that were unleashed, and parts of the gates are warped and broken, leading into your noble estate. And Epuk was here not too long ago. Maybe it was before you guys ventured into that dark ruin through the teleportation circle. But the messenger leaves you there, and as you enter, you can hear weeping inside the estate. A soft sobbing.
I wonder who is weeping like this. I'd like to try and find them. Where will it be easy to find them, you think?
Yes. So you venture deeper into the house and you find your two younger brothers seem to be the cause of this weeping, as there are also several attendants throughout the household that seem to be moving around at a fast pace, trying to put things together and keep things running, but also put things back together from the carnage that happened here, because on the body is the broken form of your father, the former patriarch of House Kriska. And it is your two younger brothers Lamiel and Zamiel, who are weeping over his broken body.
My brothers, what has happened here?
They can barely speak, and they just say, "There was a terrible attack. Where were you?"
Well, I was temporarily dead, but I was also in the throes of a pretty intense battle.
Where
I
have you
saved the
been this
city
whole
from the rest of
time?
it.
We needed you.
I had to go out and find my true potential, and alas, I have found it. I have found the Eye of El Nisad, the source of his Centenar's power, and I plan to wield it for the betterment of the city
They
and to coalesce my power.
they look at you like you've gone completely mad. But what would they understand?
They would understand nothing other than that I ran away in the middle of the night.
They seem
They were just slightly too young to understand what, like, my internal turmoil.
they seem very distraught, and I believe Apuk is here as well. And
Monitoring darkly.
you received the directive from the Mr. Kriska himself, whose first name escapes me right now. And he's not around anymore to force you to uphold that. But maybe there's still opportunity or duty to be had. Some of the other members of the household start gathering around because they haven't seen Ramiel in so long, and they seem to be taken aback. And Ramiel's youngest brother, Lamiel, he's just scowling at you, Ramiel, as if you've come back now, just at this time, to usurp the house.
Brother, please, why such a dark look on your face? Are you not happy to see me?
He just runs off crying. And
Stop talk.
so these other members of the house start gathering around you, and they start saying things like, "Master Ramiel, when should we begin the preparations? Who would you like to invite?"
Well, firstly, I think I need some sort of account of why my father's dead and laying in the middle of this room. Somebody has to tell me.
You need a what?
Somebody needs to tell me right now
Oh, tell you what, I missed it.
why my father is dead.
Oh. They start pointing to a pile of ash that is still burning and steaming in this room. And you can see the injuries that he's suffered are similar even to your own. It seemed he was not immune to this otherworldly attack. And he succumbed to it.
Well, this is very tragic, of course, but we shouldn't delay preparing the funeral, I suppose. Although I'm not terribly familiar with what my father's intentions were for burial. So, is my mother around?
Probably, but she's probably even more distraught somewhere. But they're essentially talking less about the funeral, and you get the sense that they're talking more about you assuming control of the house.
I'm kind of mulling this over in my head, trying to figure out what exactly they mean, but it's a little bit difficult with this voice in my head talking to me. Um, it's
As
kind of
you
hard to tell.
as you mull it over in your head, you're finally back in this place that you've been separated from for so long, and you're mulling it over, but you remember, just nearby, within the house, is a place where you used to spend a lot of time meditating, and there's spices and herbs there that you've never found anywhere else, and you've always felt like that meditation room with those incenses has given you a sort of clarity that you still have never found outside of your house. Probably the one place that you actually missed about not being here. And you smell those incenses wafting through the air.
I'd like to follow the scent of the incense and the spices, but as I walk through the house, I'd kind of like to share the good news of Histenthenar with everybody around me. I'm trying to bring people up to speed on what's happened with me and um, just kind of like explaining that I am now this vessel for this god. And I think I'm getting a lot of really puzzled looks. Like I
Yes.
don't think anybody knows what the heck I'm talking
You
about.
seem like a kook.
But I feel very fervently that I need to be telling people about this.
I feel like a pook is sort of following you around, similar to the Heshek regime that you guys saw following around, like the satraps
Oh, and I'm definitely
and the emperor.
introducing my friend Apook as like this great sorcerer, and everybody should pay him homage.
And they seem to be definitely willing to do that because they've seen these tattooed sorcerers around the city as well. Um, but as you're doing this, people are looking at you like, "What the heck?" Like, okay, like in this scenario, and but eventually you get to the meditation room, and it seems almost like it's been set for you. Like the incenses are already burning, and you smell their sweet smell that will be able to focus your attention and induce you to a state that you feel like you'll actually be able to focus and maybe come up with some answers that you seek.
Okay. I walk into the meditation room. I beckon Apook to come in with me, and I say, "Let's inhale the vapors. Let's get some clarity." Um, and I'm still not convinced that I should be the head of this household. I still think that there's something greater for
Hmm.
me, but I am willing to temporarily take control.
Hmm.
And so maybe I go out and tell the closest servant I can find
Okay.
that I need to speak with, like, I don't know, my uncle or no, my brother, probably my brother.
Do you meditate first
Zamiel.
before doing that?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll come back to this meditation where you guys are inhaling the vapors. Um, um, back in the plaza with everyone milling around. Melion, somebody comes up behind you and presses a message into your palm. And it's just, you could tell it's just your standard run of the mill sort of like clandestine message person. Similar with the job that you were doing before.
Yeah. They just like bump into me and find the message in my palm.
Yeah.
Can I connect to them mentally
Yeah.
and just ask, who's the author?
He gives you a sign language in Thieves' Cant that says he shouldn't say who it
Very well.
is.
All right. I'll off to the some dark corner and take a gander at it.
Okay. It has the name of an establishment there on the message is all it says, and it is a place that you've been before. It's the bank
The bank.
that you guys were at when you first got here.
All right.
It's called Kish and Sons.
Of course, it wouldn't be the easy spelling. Yeah. All right. I just don't know if I want to. Does it say give it? Does it have a time?
No.
All right. Then I'll check and see. Corbin, are you free?
Yes.
Not much.
I think so.
You and I can do here with the healing and such. I've got an errand run and having crazy it might sound, an extra set of hands might help. Would you mind coming with me?
Sure. Where are we going?
To the bank. I
Oh.
have to make a deposit or
Sounds
a
good.
withdrawal. I guess I'll find out when I get there.
So you start heading there, and you're winding your way through the streets. Some of them have been more devastated than others, and in general, people are just trying to recover overall. You get to the bank, and the bank, being that it is a bank, was very well fortified against such an attack. And inside, they seem to be back to business as usual, even though maybe they don't have all their staff there. Maybe members of their staff were impacted. Um, and yeah, it looks, other than that, like I said, pretty normal. There aren't many customers in there.
It looks pretty sparse, Corbin. Perhaps you've got great eyesight. Maybe you can just keep an eye on me from a distance and make sure something crazy doesn't happen.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go into like a corner. Are there any like chairs to sit in or anything?
Yeah.
I'll probably sit.
All right.
Have a good angle.
You sit by the coin machine.
Yep.
And
I will connect to Corbin for 2 hours.
okay.
And then I will enter into Kish and Sons.
So you walk up, and there's the same teller that you guys had before, which was the elf with the little bifocals, and he's just counting some golden things, and he says, "Ah, yes, we were expecting you." There's
Yes,
nobody
I
else
was-
in there except Corbin.
Yes, I suppose I'm here to see Mr. Kish.
He says, "Oh no, not at all. Simply we have your payment."
Oh, perfect. I was wondering when that would arrive.
So as you walk up, you see with your passive perception, you you notice he's moving around some gold and counting it. He moves it to the side around where you wouldn't be able to see it. And, you know, he does this for a living. He's pretty adept at counting all this money and moving all this gold and stuff. And he just...
Can I read his mind?
one sec. Like he flips a coin, and you can see that the coin is not a risk coin, and he catches it and pushes it to the side, out of view. You can see it's not from Kehashra. And then yeah, you can try to read his mind.
Yeah, I would like to try and read his mind, just to hear like, what is he thinking about this particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm wanting to glean perhaps is if he has more involvement
Mm-hmm.
in what this is, especially now that A, I don't know what I'm being paid for, and B, now that it doesn't seem like it's a Kehashra business, I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I could just get any more information about that.
So on the surface, he's thinking, man, this is a very lucrative trade. Fairly secretive, too. That's mainly what he's thinking.
Okay.
And you were trying to glean what? Like the specifics of why you're getting paid?
Yeah, if he knows like who told him to expect me, if he's talking about it being secret, I'm trying to think. What is the DC if I wanted to probe his mind?
He was thinking that it's crazy for the nobility of the empire to be as involved with these goings on as they are. So it sort of harkens back to the conversation you had with Minimum Gaul already.
Right. Okay. I see. Okay.
And he, at this point, has brought out a bunch of platinum pieces for you and a note, a sealed letter. The seal has not been broken.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I need to probe his mind. And I guess I'll see the amount when he hands it to me. Can you put this in a small chest of sorts? I prefer not a bag. I'm sure people of your clientele often require better containers than just a easy coin purse that can be cut free.
He says, yes, of course, but it does come at a charge.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
Actually, do I have? I think I have a small chest. No, I think I gave it back. Never mind.
So he takes one of the platinum pieces off of the stacks and sets it to the side, and pretty quickly and adeptly packs all these platinum pieces into a perfectly sized box.
I'll take the note personally.
What?
I said, and I'll take the note personally.
Okay. He slides it across to you, and in total, he gives you 1,000 platinum pieces.
Gulp. All right. Is that all you're instructed to deliver to me?
Yes, that is all for now, although supposedly there could be more, so if you wanted to keep that on deposit here. We do have those types of accounts.
Let me weigh my options.
Very well
Not
then.
to say that there's another bank I trust more than you, but I might have some investments I need to make in the near future, so it might be quicker.
We will
it might
be
end
here.
quickly.
Any-
Well, it's a pleasure.
So,
Also, are you one of the sons?
no, I'm not.
All right.
He, as you start walking away, he slowly slides back the other coins he was counting, and you see there's some like unmarked gold bars in there. Like when you guys received the gold bars from the Emperor, they were clearly marked, and there's completely like non-denominational, like maybe they just haven't been minted at all.
What's his surface thoughts now that he's going back to his other work before I interrupted?
He says he's thinking that there's a lot of this foreign money flowing in.
Okay. Well, Corbin, that was very strange. Suppose I have a letter to read, and do you still have the bag of holding?
Yes, I do.
Do you mind if what's in it right now? Is it filled with water still?
No, the water's been gone for a while. It just has a couple books.
Would you mind? You probably hold this thing flat in your armor, right? Like not easily stealable.
Yeah, it's not easily stealable.
Okay. Do you mind putting this box? It's fairly light, not much in it. We'll talk about its contents later.
Sure.
But yeah, if you can hold on to
Later.
that,
It's
I
not
would appreciate it.
it's not anything funky like an interdimensional space, is it? Just a regular box.
Can I open the box slightly and just see if it's an
That would be
interdimensional
pretty
space?
crazy if they sent you off with big bags, but no, yeah, it's
I mean,
regular.
it costs a platinum. It's very intricate and lovely, but I don't think it's interdimensional space.
All right, sure. Yeah, I'll put it in my bag.
All right. Cool. Well, I'll find another. Let's go in an alleyway and I'll read this letter and I'll convey some of the information to you because I think there's some things I've been learning about and I might need your assistance in the future. I've got a lot of questions and I'm not feeling too trustworthy of some of the going-ons in some of the nobility, so I'm hoping this letter might clear it up or might make it worse. Who knows?
While you were sitting there, Corbin, you had your own epiphany, sort of. I think you would sort of be turning this black coin that you were given around in your hands, and you hear a whisper through the coin, and it's Ishrad's voice. And the coin starts having some shadowy wisps coming out of it, while you're hearing the voice of Ishrad through it. And he says to you, "Speak into this coin in the dark of the night, and there you will find our congregation."
Is he like talking to me? Like I would definitely ask if it's like a two-way radio, not radio, two-way communication, or is he just like talking at me?
You can roll your Arcana with advantage. since you know so much about magic items and things like that in general, you can maybe intuit that. But this is the first time you've seen this thing being used, so maybe you're not sure. But maybe you'll be able to put your finger on it. And nice. Coach, were you gonna investigate the people who stole that book from you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to do that like during this day, or are you gonna like kind of regroup with everyone first?
Well, if I remember correctly, as soon as I realized the book was missing, I found out that it was at the church. Grabbed Parthas, and the two of us being the most logical of the group, went charging in without much plan, other
Yeah.
than get back the book.
Perfect.
Let's burn down the church.
So you went to the Church of Hashta?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that in 1 sec. And so Corbin, this coin when used when used, its main use is to like manifest you, almost like astral project you to somewhere.
Okay.
And the way Ishrad is using it right now is just to speak to you. If you could channel it, you could probably speak back to him, but it would be super complicated the way this thing works. So you'd have to
Okay.
study it for a little while. So he's just sort of paging you, and you don't know his number to reply.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
But
I'm definitely taken off guard by like the voice. I'll definitely look around, but obviously he's not there.
yeah,
He's pretty, with his gold mask and stuff, he's pretty noticeable.
yeah.
And then with the black wisps, I'm just like, what the hell?
And that's that was right before Melion got back to you to be like, hey, here's this box of coins.
I don't know what's in there.
Yeah. Oh well, here's this box. So, are you now reading this note in the shadowed alleyway, Melion?
Yeah. I'll pull Corbin into a alleyway away from just the public walking around, people doing, trying to clean up debris, and I will try and read this message.
All right. It says, to the arachnid, weaving his web. We've seen your hesitancy in transmitting further information, and we must ask that you keep doing your service. It says, the coffers of the Empire depend on it, as well as the flow of mithril. We understand your reservations. But the children are merely being sent to the mines. And they're saved from a much harsher life.
I mean, that is potentially true. I guess we'll have to do some investigating with some of the slave traders and find out for myself. But for the time being, I suppose order to achieve that goal, I must continue moving the word.
Yeah. And it says at the end, there are much more riches where this comes from. And it's signed the Manifold Regency.
Interesting. Well, I guess that gives me something to look into. So Corbin, we might have a little better finances for some of our adventures. I don't know what your plans are for the near future, but I know you said something about the City of the Dead. I might not mind heading in that direction as well. If you have space for another.
Was it planning over there?
People have been
thought it
talking
was-
about it.
Yeah, I thought you or Denari were interested in it. I think Sorgar is as well. Just
Yeah,
because
I
of
don't think I've...
that poem or whatever we had.
Yeah, I'm probably will make my way there. I will probably have some sort of business out there, so more the merrier.
So in the Church of Hashta, you guys have been asking around, and I thought that you maybe heard like exciting whispers of something as you were there, if that sounds right. Is that right, Coach in Parthas?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're investigating is totally outside of the Church of Hashta, even though Vahalak worshipped Hashta, because, like, the guy who approached you was more keen on praising Vahalak than Hashta, you know, and that's sort of why he wanted to know, was asking you the question that he did.
Oh no, that was kids. Kids
Yeah.
came up and approached me.
So what you're doing asking around here is not very sanctioned, and there's like a bunch of injured people coming into the church to get healing and be prayed for, and you know, the clerics only have so many healing spells per day, so they have to figure out who they actually need to heal before they completely run out. Maybe they need to save their healing for somebody who can actually be saved. Or you know, not use it if the person doesn't need it. So as you are, is there a way you want to go about asking people? It's kind of busy in here. There's some worshipers, but is there a certain angle that you want to take?
Well, I would probably first just listen to see as we're here if anyone's like bragging about the book or talking about it.
Okay. Can you roll insight or perception? And Parthas, you can roll too.
Okay.
Can I cast guidance on myself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. How do I do that? Again.
I think guide is the snippet for it. Or guidance. Guidance, the full word.
Okay. So Parthas doesn't notice too much.
And I would put that in
Like
at the end.
exclamation, check, space, perception, space, guidance.
Yeah, so you're saying everything kind of seems ordinary to me. Nothing stands out.
You don't get wind of anything. Let's see if Coach.
Yeah, you
gives
said I could do
thought about anything.
guidance
Yeah.
or you insight.
Yeah. Insight or perception. Okay. So you're not able to catch anyone in the act per se, but there's sort of a buzz underlying everyone moving around here, and maybe you hear the trailing off of whispered conversations as you approach groups of people who are supposedly worshiping there and stuff. And it's a group of young people, all different races. There's like a tiefling and probably a satyr like you, a human, and a halfling. And they're quite young, probably around 18, 19. And they just give you like a knowing look. Like they know what you're searching for here.
So they know that so it's my book that was stolen.
Well, they interpret it as you're looking for information about Valhalla, like they were.
I see. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna walk up to the first person that seems like they are working, like that know this place and everything else,
Uh huh.
and just say, all right, well, excuse me, I'm looking for a book. I hear that there's a book here that apparently Valhalla might be in. You know, just kind of curious as to where the book might be.
Are you asking these teenagers or like like a priest here?
Like the priest, someone
Oh,
that
okay.
looks like they're here.
He gives you
Like
a he's pretty busy helping people, and he gives you a scowl and a disapproving look, and just kind of waves you off. He says, "I've heard
is
enough of that. I've heard too much of that today.
too much of what of the book
Too
or
much about Valhalla for one day. Go talk to those kids. You might find they're a little more willing to hear you out. I'm busy here."
Well, that's pretty rude, don't you think?
I do.
I think
I'm just
Surgar's here at the church too.
yeah, we have no idea of that though. We've just like
Yeah.
rushed in here and
Surgar's like praying or maybe like helping people that are hurt.
Yeah, I'm around. I'm healing people.
does do I get the sense from this priest that he really is just like busy, or is he
No,
just
he
trying to
is. Well, he
okay.
also doesn't like the subject matter.
Okay, but it's like it seems like it's a genuine like, oh my gosh, I don't even care about this, get away.
Yes, and it's sort of
Okay.
sacrilegious here in this church.
All right. Then at the waving thing, I'll be like, okay, fine, but just so you know, I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm trying to get it off your hands. It is mine. I'm just trying to get rid of it for you. So, you know, if you know where it is.
He raises his eyebrows and shrugs and really doesn't have anything else to say.
All right, I go running over to the teenagers.
Okay. They say, I heard you were looking for that book. Something about Valhalla.
Yeah, I'm looking for my book. I heard you might know something about where it is.
Yes. Here. And they give you a scribbled flyer. And it's it's like a meeting flyer. It's saying like it's pretty sensational. It says like Valhalla is back. Meet at this location at this time. It's in one it seems like it's in sort of a more rundown part of the city, in like an underground cellar at dusk to probably today.
Fucking runarounds. I hate fucking runarounds. But and I just look at Parthas real quick. I'm like, I guess at least we know where we have to go. And honestly, this might be better too, because maybe we can convince guys and a couple other people to come do it.
Yeah, agreed. We maybe scare them a little bit too, just for fun.
Well, of course.
Just for a little bit of fear, just a little bit.
Or a lot of bit of fear. Mess with the ram, you get the horns.
Yep.
No one steals from Coach.
That's right. And I go rage it over to find Eisen, the next person. Maybe if on the way out
Okay.
I see we see Surigard.
Yeah, Surigard is the MVP. I don't think he used any of his lay on hands, and he only needs to use 1 point to heal these people. So all these priests and priestesses of Hashta are just like so impressed by him and his ability to heal everyone coming in. I assume you'd be willing to do that, right, Surigard?
That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm using 1 point per person, and I think 30 points now or something like crazy like that.
Yeah, and these people, they're just you're accumulating multiple people who owe their lives to your intervention, and that's pretty powerful for them to come to the Church of Hashta ultimately. So these people who are healed are typically they go up to the altar and start praying and thanking Hashta, and then so back in Ramiel's estate, Ramiel, you're meditating in this room with a Pook, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you are sitting there meditating, and the vapors are swirling around in your nostrils. Maybe you lit a couple more that remind you of the old times when you were a young Ramiel, and you close the door to this place. You don't hear the cries of anguish and agony from the house of Kriska anymore, and you enter into a place of complete zen, and you feel like you're finally able to focus on your thoughts, and these swirling plumes of incense, they seem to meld the 2 or 3 entities in your mind, including you, together.
I knew that there was more than just one. I knew it.
Well, that's including you, so there's 1 or 2. Because you're in your own mind as well. Maybe there's more.
It's hard to tell. It's like a monologue at this point.
Yeah. And one sec. So your mind is aglow and feeling nice and fuzzy inside. Apuk, the same thing's happening for you, and you're just thinking, Apuk, you're gonna have your own revelations perhaps, but you're just thinking like, wow, this is sort of like what I missed out on. And like, you had your patron, but this is like the real deal. You never got to like be in an actual spot like this. Your ring was the closest you could come to it.
Yeah.
And Ramiel, as you're able to align these forces in your brain, including your own consciousness. Uh, you see in front of you, well, you sort of see yourself in this room with everything swirling around you. And you see what could only be one of your progenitors in like swirling up from the smoke forms an entity that is towering and imperious before you. You feel small and fragile, and there's a sweet voice that booms in your mind, and you can't help but think this could be Histenthanar. But the voice says, I am sorry, Ramiel. I lied to you. I lied so that you would let me in. I am not Histenthanar.
Wrecked.
I am your ancestor, Al-Nisad. I sought Histenthanar like you, and together we shall find him. We can become him.
You want me to help you become a god like Histenthanar?
This is Histenthanar's ultimate teaching when you follow it to the end, to achieve ultimate power. I cannot do it, and I do not long to. I only sought you, who is capable of doing it, through the desert sands.
I feel so honored for this calling, but I have to ask, how did you learn about the ways of Histenthanar?
Like I said, I sought him too, long ago. And you don't know much of, not many people know much of their ancestors going back very, very far. You may have studied them or heard some funny stories when you were a kid, but you can only assume that this is a genie or the spirit of a genie, what would be called a genie. And nobody did. What I mean by what I said before is like they're not around anymore. Nobody sees them anymore. So, like, your race, genocide, or however you say it, is the only thing left over from when genies existed. And it's the same thing actually for a Pook, because there are no dragons around anymore. But they're dragonborn, which are an echo of something that used to exist.
I'm pretty much in awe of what I'm seeing and hearing. But I just have this feeling inside of me that I can trust what El Nisad is saying, and his eyeball kind of feels warm in like through the bag that I have that I'm holding it in. So I feel like this is the right path for me. And I say to him, I would be honored to work alongside you to achieve the greatness and the power of Istenthenar. What must we do next?
That is a great question, and I think Apuk would disturb your meditation in a way that severs it, because Apuk has fallen into his own trance, and what you see, Apuk, is initially as you enter a state of meditation, you see a vast, unending expanse, the desert in the night, and in the sky above, as it slowly becomes more and more evident, a massive, tattooed, serpentine form. Its form huge and indescribable, incomprehensible, stretches over the night. Its wings from horizon to horizon, and it begins descending on you, and that's when you can't help but let out some kind of shriek, and this awakens Ramiel, as this breaks Ramiel's trance as well. But Ramiel, you said you felt the pearl warm in its pocket, but as you come out of this trance, Ramiel, the pearl had actually been swirling around you, and it is hovering now. It stops swirling, orbiting around your head, and it stops. It stops right as you open your eyes, as Apuk is crying out, and it flies into your forehead and burrows itself into your forehead. And you're shrieking now too. This is what Apuk saw, more or less. So now you have this pearl burned into your forehead.
Is that a dragon with a girl tattoo?
Yes.
I mean,
So I'm
does it
awake.
hurt?
I'm awake now. Nothing actually happened to me. I don't have a pearl in my head.
No.
Oh, good.
But you look at Ramiel, and Ramiel's got
He's got a
third
pearl
eye.
in his head. Is it glowing? Is it hot? Is it uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Ramiel, are you okay?
Apuk became Batman.
I don't think I realize what's happened, but I do feel a pressure in my head, and I reach my hand up to kind of like massage my forehead and accidentally poke myself in my third eye now.
Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
And as you maybe come out of your meditation room and start saying more stuff about Hacenthanar, it seems like people are taking you more seriously now that you look a lot more, I don't know, something. A lot crazier.
Yeah, I imagine like all three of my eyes are just kind of bugging out of my head, like all three are crazy eyed looking.
And people are continuing to ask you, are you ready to begin the preparations? Do you, basically saying, like, are you ready to take over the house of Kriska?
What I'm ready to do is help my household gain untold power. And I truly believe that Histenthanar and our great ancestor, El Nisad, will lead the way.
So when they come to you and say, "Are you ready to be the patron of House Kriska?" Are you gonna say yes?
I'll say, until another can prove their worthiness to lead this household, I will accept this responsibility.
Okay. All right. So they begin to um, make those preparations to have the funeral, and as part of the funeral, um, you would also be honored afterwards as the new head of the house, and Apuk, someone familiar, maybe one of the primary advisors, um, approaches you as well, and this person is familiar with the deal that you made while Ramiel's perhaps um, dealing with something else. They pull you aside, and they say to you, "The former patron Kriska placed much store in you. Is that right?"
Yes.
Is that a role that you would like to continue to serve in?
So the promissory note you said burned up, right?
Yeah. But it's
But
actually sort of moot now because it was like Ramiel's inheritance, and now
but
Ramiel
now
has
he's
just
inherited
inherited the
the
whole
whole fucking
house.
place. Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, I would still want to protect Ramiel because I think that there's more to this than just because I'm, got what I needed. Maybe sort of the world's still a big place and I need powerful allies and powerful people
yeah.
to unite the kingdom.
So yeah, it sort of will be like Ramiel's sort of a satrap, and you're now you're the Hashekrazim skulking around and it's whispering in his ear maybe, but so yeah, he says, "Very well then," and he just gives you a like a pin or a brooch that has the house emblem on it. Even Ramiel doesn't even have one of these things anymore. Probably will get a new one, but this would allow you to be associated with the noble house if you wanted
I,
to be.
I'm the hand of the king.
Sort of. So um maybe you guys talked about meeting back at the palace, or maybe you didn't want to meet at the palace. I think the palace is sort of not a big hangout right now. So I think um, the queen would have arranged for you guys to stay at one of the nicer inns while stuff is happening at the palace, and it's definitely, you can already tell, way harder to talk to her now than it was to talk to the emperor. She keeps talking to you guys through like messengers and through the Volguard. So I just want to sort of say that you guys agreed to meet at this place beforehand, and now that it's almost dusk, everyone's already, you've been doing things all day, and you sort of come back together at this inn that she has provided for you to stay at, and it's in the evening, not quite dusk, but maybe you're going to go back to whatever duties you were doing. For instance, maybe Suragar is going to go back to healing people. Maybe Denari is going to go back to healing people or recruiting people to go to the Oracle at Zemdir. But for now, you guys have a dinner to yourselves in a large private room in this very upscale inn. And I believe, Coach, this would be, for you specifically, a time to maybe ask if anyone wanted to go to investigate that flyer with you.
Yeah, I probably would just be like, hey, so guys, turns out you know that the book that I got? Uh oh my gosh. Ugh. My brain just fried on the name. I'm sorry. Thank you. You know that book that I got from Valhalla that he signed? Well, apparently no one stole it while we were either in the fight or right after it or something of that nature. And I think I like pull out the flyer. I think I know where it is, but I don't know who all's gonna be there. Partha said that he was gonna help. I was wondering if anyone else would like to come, just in case things get rough or if we need to things get messy at all.
You didn't see who stole it at all?
No, honestly, I didn't even know it was gone until I overheard some kids talking about how they started asking questions about Bahalak being alive again, and it just got me, and then it made me like look, and I just noticed it was gone.
You can count me in. I'm interested to see who would want to steal something, like that. Kind of silly.
Yeah, no, I could count on you guys, and it's also one of those things of like, why would someone steal? But like, it's not like I was going around flaunting that I had it or that it was signed.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe those collectors really trying to find their merch on the streets. I don't know.
I guess. And then I'd like pause for a second, like, wait, Melian, did you by chance hear of anything? This was like kids, maybe your network of kids might have stole it.
I don't have network of kids. I don't. Let me see this flyer.
I'd like slide it over to him.
Yeah.
It has a location on it.
Yeah.
Do I recognize this location as like a underground fighting arena?
Nope.
Okay.
It's a former like winery, but it's been abandoned for a while. So it would be like it's saying to go to the cellar, like, which would be pretty big.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, interesting. I didn't hear much about it. The network I am a part of doesn't really get involved with like religious things, but I guess if there's value to it and someone wanted it bad enough to pay one of us to get it, that's definitely something that could have happened, but I haven't heard of any jobs to get it. Otherwise I would have warned you. Well, maybe. I would have at least kept an eye out. But I'm fine to go. I'm kind of interested to meet the person who's able to steal it right from under your nose.
Too.
It could be useful in the network if they're not already a part of it.
I assume Ramiel and Apuk would have come back for this, like, friends dinner as well. Even though you have so many busy things. Well, not as much for Apuk, but yeah, if you come back, Ramiel's got this new white robe with golden trim around it. Maybe the ring of House Kriska.
I guess you're forgoing your state of poverty. Ramiel?
It's true. Justenthenar has greater plans for me than living like a hermit in the wild with no money. Instead, I've been tasked to, well, not tasked, but my ancestor decided to show up,
You,
and we are now going to pursue untold power.
well, as you have this pearl stuck in your forehead, you're saying all this.
But yes, my ancestor was El Nisad, whose eye I found in our travels.
Oh, that's weird. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the pearl you guys found in the Shrine of the Four Elements. Embedded right in Ramiel's forehead now.
So, like, does it hurt?
Uh, it didn't hurt. It just felt like how to describe it? I don't know, like something popped, like an inverse pop, except it went into my head instead of like something popping out of my head.
It's like you had a socket in your forehead this whole time.
Can you see out of it?
Let me try. Yeah, pretty clearly. I'd say better than 2020. I can see like different frequencies. It's pretty great.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty freaky actually.
I had something to say, but I've kind of forgotten it. Yeah.
Parthas,
Good.
the whispering in the back of your skull has continued to torment you, and I assume you guys need to get going to the church, or sorry, the cellar, as it is becoming dusk soon. You guys have had a nice meal, and so whichever of you have agreed to part and go to the church, you're headed off to do that. So you go to the poorer parts of the city. There's an abandoned winery, and it doesn't seem well. As you look around, there's nobody in there, but you can hear people. You can hear some activity in the basement, in the cellar, which is where you need to go. So, and the whole way, this voice in the back of your head is getting harder to tame. I mean, you just underwent this transformation, and it's not very easy.
I tell the group, so I'm in the church group, and I'm telling them, man, I can't keep these thoughts at bay, guys. I don't know what's wrong with me. Something, from earlier, it's just sort of kind of taken over.
I had a very similar experience, I'm not gonna lie. It turned out to be a genie. Do you perhaps have a genie inside of you?
No, this seems much more malevolent than a genie. I wouldn't imagine a genie has that much hostility. This one, there's just oozing hostility and darkness.
Is it like towards everybody?
I can't tell. I don't feel like it's towards anyone in the group, but just in general.
Well,
Like, do you need a nap?
Well, I could always use a nap, but got other things to do. Let's just go to the church. I'm sure it'll sort itself out.
yeah. Once we're done with this, we can try and psych you out a little bit here. See if we can figure it out. Maybe try and dispel if it's some wicked like charm or something on you.
You are starting to hear this phrase, perhaps the name, over and over in your head, and you end up roaring it out loud. You're like coughing, and then it's almost like you vomit this name up in front of your friends. It's Baazbarzux.
I look around to the group in surprise, and I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Bless you.
Oh no, I don't need a tissue. I just spoke something weird. I need help. Somebody.
Do you want me to go into your mind and see what is going on?
Please do.
Well, as you guys are saying that, you see some youths, as similar to at the church, are starting to walk into this winery.
Oh, suspicious. Young kids
youth.
walking into a winery. Let's go beat them up.
All right.
Do you, I mean, listen, Coach, maybe you take a little time in advance. This shouldn't take long. Parthas and I can do this unless you guys want to wait until after. But, I mean, there's going to be minors in there, and I don't want Parthas to go on a rampage in there and kill everyone.
Yeah, that's fair. Because right now it's us, Kaizen, and is that it?
I think Ramiel is there just because Ramiel commented on something. So Ramiel just decided, hey, I'm gonna head out there too, for fun.
Yeah.
So that means Mepuk might also be there, by association.
So, like half of us are here.
Yeah. All right. Let's. All right. Fine. Yeah. Check him out. We don't need him down for the counter going to anything crazy.
So
the rest of us will check out what's going on.
It shouldn't take too long. I mean, leave one person with us just to help in case he tries to murder me.
So some of you.
I'm not going to do it on purpose if I murder you. I'm sorry in advance. I won't. It's not on purpose.
So a couple of you stay out, and a couple of you go in. I assume Coach is going in, maybe with Kaizen, or maybe Ramiel,
Yeah,
or.
I'm going in.
All right.
Yeah.
You open the door and it's creaking, and the cellar or the winery has been defunct for some time. It's dusty, and you walk across the floorboards, and the chanting you can hear, it's quite rhythmic and loud. And as you slowly descend the cellar, to the cellar, you see sort of what have been arranged as like pews, and there's like a podium or a pulpit farther off, and on the other side of the room, and they're chanting about they're chanting to Valhallach, and the chants are all revolving around the return, or more appropriately, the ascension of Valhallach. So they're exalting him like he's a god.
All right.
Any-
Fuck.
I was gonna say, yeah. Wait, do we see any signs of the book or?
There is a book on the podium across the room from you. Nobody's standing there at it now. It's sort of like everyone's just swept up in this chant. A lot of these people are very young.
Can I recognize the book as mine?
Not from where you're at. You want to cross the room and inspect it?
How many people are in here?
Probably about 50.
Yeah, let's go take a peek, Coach.
All right. Is there a way that we can do it, like, kind of stealthily or at least nonchalantly?
They don't seem very attentive right now.
Right. I still think we should.
Kaizen could probably do it nonchalantly, but he might not know if it's your book or not.
Yeah, what should I look for?
This, and I just prestidigitation, like the book, in my hand.
And the signature.
Yeah, I guess, and then press digitation that,
Okay.
and then you know what? Just in case. Hey, let's step out real quick, real quick.
Okay.
I step back outside and quickly say, "All right, if you're going in, here," and I'm just gonna go and give a light blow and cast invisibility on him.
Well, there you go. Kaizen,
Easy as they come.
it's like your dream come true, but it won't last forever.
Alright. This is a kind of weird being invisible, but it's not my first time, I guess. Then I'm gonna just go check out the book. Should I roll anything or?
So you sneak down the stairs. These people are lost in their chants and things. You even now that you're invisible, you're definitely imperceptible to them. And you get up to the podium, and you see the book laying there. Do you want to like page through it and try to see if it's like if it fits the bill?
I'm gonna see if it's signed in the place where Coach showed me.
Okay. You flip through it, and it's not it's not signed there. But you see on the side of the podium facing you, as you approached it, the signature was transcribed there, almost like a graffiti, uh, onto the podium. It's not in the book. And as you flip through this book a little bit, it's uh, a copy of Coach's book.
You said the signature was like someone else just wrote the signature on the podium.
Yeah, with like paint, like it's like graffiti on the podium.
Let's see. Let's see. Uh, can I roll like I don't know investigation or something to kind of look into the crowd to see if anyone's doing anything besides
Yeah,
just
do perception.
perception? Tragic.
You don't think they are, though. They all seem to be chanting and worshiping in the same way.
Hmm. Okay. Gonna try to hasten back to Coach before the invisibility ends.
All right.
Yeah, so Coach, do I make it back or?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Coach, sorry, but I don't know if that's your book over there. There's someone wrote like a signature that looks like the signature that was in your book on the podium, but it's not in your book. So,
What?
so maybe someone like took your book and then like convinced all these people of something, and then I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's any like leader here. We might have to look somewhere else.
This is where the book's supposed to be.
Look, I can look. Okay, I'm not the best writer, but I can try to like put the signature back in the book, and then not, you know, say anything.
No, I mean
Wink.
that's not the point. That's not the point. I appreciate not the point though. Someone stole my book, and we gotta figure out where it is. You're certain that's not it though.
Maybe I'll go double
Well,
check.
it
Nah,
seemed like a copy. Parts of it were copied uh, with spells, probably, and parts of it were quickly scrawled. The pages were not uniform. So, whoever stole the book didn't have a ton of time since then to copy it, but the whenever it was stolen, it has seemed to ignite a fervor very quickly. There were already people who sort of uh, exalted Vahalak. Very few, though. Book seems to have sparked something.
Man, I just don't get it. I mean, he seemed pretty cool, but he didn't seem like all that when we met him. I just, man, I mean, I get wanting to get his autograph, but like, I don't know, it seems like a little much. I mean, so what now, Coach?
Well, I have an idea, but I'm gonna have to sleep on it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you're certain that's no. If you're certain that's not it, I look into the space that I think Kaizen's eyes are.
Well, he's not.
What?
He's not invisible anymore.
Oh,
I have the concentration.
I mean, I I don't know if I'm certain. Like, there's been some really crazy magic lately. Maybe there is something with it that I didn't notice. Maybe they like try to make it look like a fake, but I just couldn't really tell. But I touched it with my hands. I mean, it seemed pretty real to me.
All right, then we'll try Plan B, but we're gonna have to wait until the morning
Okay.
for
So
finding it.
you guys would all walk back through the streets. People are starting to celebrate now a little bit, just quietly. Just that the whatever happened is over, and they're celebrating the fact that they made it through. While if maybe mourning people who didn't make it if they were affected, but back at the inn, you guys have the best accommodations, and maybe Corbin is flipping this coin around in his hand again, waiting for the darkest time of night while everyone else is sleeping. Um, did you want to try to use the coin, Corbin?
Sure. So if is everyone asleep already?
I would
'Cause I
say
was gonna-
so,
Okay, I was gonna talk to Ipuk if he was here.
if you want to, yeah.
Whoa.
Because I know I had mentioned I know he collected the book, way back in the before times.
Yeah.
But I was reading through it, and did you know that the Sorcerer Kings are from before the Empire?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
And
I
there's a
would
lot
know
of
that.
And we know a lot of gray-skinned sorcerers, right?
Yeah.
But do you know much about massive blue serpents? There was a depiction in the book of like this. And I kind of flip open to the page and show him. I just thought it was interesting. Maybe you'd want to know that.
Yes. You found the blue serpents. Tell me more.
The
I've
book.
told you everything I've found.
Well, the book is about the history of the Sorcerer Kings and their kingdom, and I don't think you've fully perused it, Apuk, and Corbin has had the time to, and it seems this book very, very gently traces the origins of these empires of the Sorcerer Kings and how they came to their power, and at times it talks about how their devotion to channeling their power would sort of sap the life force out of them, causing their skins to become gray. And it mentions that the hints at the origination of this bloodline seems to come from this serpent that is named in the book.
Named?
Yeah, they call it Khashakra.
Shekra. That's my daddy.
You want to talk to these guys outside the wine cellar, Meleon?
Yeah, just when Kaizen and Coach,
Okay,
Ramiel, just whenever
sure.
they're back. If we're going to investigate what's going on with Perth's brain, um, I'd like to link up with two people, so perhaps I could take them with me. So I'll use my psychic whisperers to connect mentally with two people,
Okay.
and then I would use my detect thoughts and probe into because in order to probe into Parth's mind to kind of go after this thought, this thing that's driving him to be angry.
So you're gonna help him. You're gonna try to get in his brain.
Yeah,
All
So
right.
how does this work? Like you're gonna link up with us,
yeah,
and then we're gonna all go in.
yeah, sort of. Well, I don't know if it'll work this way. You know, a lot of this is new for me ever since my near-death experience. I've felt like I can connect to people's minds better. And I tried it today when I was at the bank, and I was able to hear a man's thoughts. So now I'm thinking, okay, I can connect to you guys. We know that. That's new. That's old news. And, you know, we can be connected for a long time over a long distance. I'm hoping that if I can also use this to read Parth's mind, not just communicate, but delve deep into it, that by connecting to you guys, A, it gives me like anchor. I probably don't know what anchor means. It gives me like a tether rope.
Really,
Um,
full inception.
yeah. And then it also, you know, we can chase after this weird thought that he uncontrollably belted the Baaz Barzakh.
Yeah.
So and I am you know, I'm doing my best to make it up as I go, but that's how I hope it goes.
Uh, all right.
Thinking probably people with strong wills would probably be good to have assist me. So I was thinking Kaizen and probably you, Coach. Unless we want to wait till we get back to the building, to the place we sleep. But I think you guys will be fine.
So are you gonna try to do this back in the inn?
I was thinking right here on the streets, but
Well, the basement seems to be a lost cause, so we're gonna try to play and be in the morning. If you want to just go back.
oh yeah, okay. I didn't know. I thought you were coming back ready to storm the castle.
Ryzen says it's not the book.
Ah,
So
dang.
tomorrow, already thinking it up tomorrow, I'm gonna know where that book is.
But there was a book.
There was a book, but apparently a fake book.
Wait, like a forgery?
I just looked
Yeah,
for Rick Eisen. Yeah.
a poorly done forgery, but yeah.
I wonder if I would have recognized the artist. Another time. If it was poor, it probably nobody I know.
So let's just say you are doing the forgery, or sorry, you're doing the thing at the inn, right? Let's say you went back to the inn and
It just sounds like
in
you
a
want to
safe
go back.
quarter. It doesn't seem like Parthas is getting any better. He's pretty tormented by whatever's inside him. But
Yeah.
so you establish a mental connection with a couple people, and then you try to detect thoughts on Parthas.
Yeah, I would like to use my whispers in order to connect to Kaizen and Coach. It'll be for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Over a mile. We'll be mentally connected. And then I would like to tell Parthas, hey, if you're in there still, if you're not losing your mind, when I start to enter, make sure you let me. Don't fight me. You can keep fighting whatever else is going on in there, but...
I'll do my best. I'll try not to beat you up too much.
All right.
Well,
And
hold on.
then...
Right
yes.
before we go in, let's just try one quick thing here. I pull out my flute, and I'm gonna cast protection from good and evil on Parthas.
Okay. That calms the voices in his head a bit.
He gave me some anesthetic. So this is what that was.
Yep. All right, you dive into his mind, and
Yes.
you immediately start hearing this voice, and it doesn't feel very good. You feel this massive, arrogant darkness inside of his brain, and it smiles at you, Meleon, and starts barking that otherworldly language at you. And you feel so small, like you feel smaller than when you went into that room, and it was lying to you over and over again inside the black ebon tomb of Valhalla.
Ah, yes. Is this... Is it just keeps saying the same words? The
No, it's saying
Bahas...
different stuff. It's like yelling at you in this language.
Can I try to exert some kind of psychic... Hey, can I share this with the other two?
Yeah, but they
And
feel
then,
so out of reach. Like even you do share it with them, but it seems so hopeless. They feel out of reach, but they do get your message.
okay. Can I try and um I'll hunker down on my will, and I'll try to exert some sort of psychic power to try and, I guess, drive off its influence while I look for something that is like Parthas. You know, like if it's tormenting him the way it's trying to torment me, I want to try and find the him that's inside his mind being tormented.
So it starts speaking to you in that language that I sent before, and it's been speaking to you that way, but it starts to organize itself. The sounds, like the disparate sounds and syllables, start to organize themselves into language that you can actually understand. But since it's not like actually speaking that language, it's just like weird snippets of it. It sounds so strange and disembodied, and it just says to you, "He chose this. You cannot save him. He could not even save his pride." And it like shoots you out of his brain.
All right. Well, Parthas, it seems that it's something that you've consumed, and I don't think I mean food-wise. Some sort of entity that you've allowed into yourself is taking root, and it says that this is what you'll need to overcome, I guess, if you want its strength. It sounds like it's there to stay.
Okay, well, that's gonna be
Like you've
unpleasant
brought it
for a
onto
while.
yourself.
Great. Long-term problems for short-term power.
Yeah. It's very powerful. I can tell you that. I'm not real. It's not something I feel like I could um, fight or push back.
Yeah, you almost feel tainted by it. Like you're almost suspecting it to pop up in your own consciousness now that
Yeah,
you've
I'm
been
like,
in there. Like you're infected.
I'm sweating.
Yeah, if you
Coach,
can even sweat.
Coach, for a time being, I'm gonna need to stay near you then, because you were able to kind of at least quell it for a little bit, so I can maybe try to learn to control this, but I don't want it to take control and lash out at all of you.
All right. That we can make that work for sure.
Maybe maybe I mean, it's telling you or it's feeding you this energy of aggression. Maybe we just need to burn the aggression out of you. Maybe we should go to the underground fighting arenas. You
Hey,
know,
I
burn
mean,
off some energy.
I would go, as long as someone can stop me from going overboard.
just gonna go kill some people in some underground arena.
It's hard to say. Or we just need to find some enemies of the state and
That might make it worse.
no need to
It's like
stop you.
scratching a. It's like scratching a rash. So
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
maybe you guys do that, maybe you don't. I'm gonna try to get through some other stuff. We might have to go like 15 minutes over, so we'll see. But so Corbin, uh, do you want to use that coin to like astral project into that place?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would have to do it the same, like the night that I figured it out, I would try it.
Uh huh. So you do so. You
Can't
speak
do
into the coin, and it takes you to a place where you're sort of swirling around, everything's swirling around, and then you find yourself. It's like your consciousness is in this church of Shehenazine, this totally secret place that only people who have been initiated can go. Not even a place that actually seems to exist in the real world, and it's a dark and nondescript church. Um, Everyone's sort of whispering secrets to each other, and it's that seems to be the main function of this place is to exchange secrets back and forth, um, and a lot of them are being said in a language that many people would not understand. It would be the language that uh, you learned to read strangely while you were in the Tomb of Ahalak, and you're hearing it spoken, and you're starting to understand it. So you're starting to um, be completely at one with the whispers flying around. Um, and as you look
Do
around
you
at
have a
this
name
new
for that?
place, what?
Do you have a name for that language or no?
Not right now.
Okay.
You feel a strange weight, a new weight inside what would be your robes if you had any here in this like disembodied dimension. Like in your pocket, inside your robes.
I'll I know it's like a fake body, but I'll reach into it and like pat the outside, and even if I don't feel anything, I'll reach in
It
and
feels
try and pull it out.
it feels metallic, like it feels hard like a metal. And you reach in and pull it
Like
out, and
coin.
it's a golden mask
Mm.
with uh, some kind of bird image on it. You don't, I mean, maybe it's an eagle, a hawk, an owl, maybe a mix of all these things. but it's nondescript also. Can't quite put your finger on which one. And you
And
couldn't
is everyone else wearing it in the church,
you
like in
can't see
the
their
shadow
faces
realm?
because you're in the back.
Okay.
You could walk up.
I'll try and put it on.
Okay. Yeah, you put it on, it fits perfectly. And the voices kind of dull down a little bit.
Yeah, then I'll try and walk around and get a spot or something. See if I
Alright.
can get some secrets.
Yeah. So you sit down at the at these at the actually they're not really sitting, they're all standing huddled and speaking amongst themselves, and as you get up there you do see each of them is wearing a mask, and they're all wearing these dark robes. It's kind of like the guy from Spirited Away, except the mask is gold, and um, you you sort of stand there and absorb these secrets flying around. None of them seem to pertain to you very much. So, maybe you're tucking them away. Maybe you're not. It's a lot of very run-of-the-mill things. Nothing that really changes anything for you. But one of them catches your. One of them does catch your attention, and you immediately know from the context what it means. There is a name that comes to you. Joda. And in the context, this is the person from Mithrist who was supposed to take you there and never came.
Oh. What else? What was it pertaining to about him, or
That's
is
all.
it just
That's what you learned.
I
That
just
that
know
is the person who was supposed to
that
come
his name?
and his name. And the remaining rumors that are flying around, secrets, they don't seem to apply too much to you, and it slowly starts to fade away. And when you come out from being in the church, you still have the golden mask.
Hmm. Well, for now, I'll take it off and kind of look at the front, be like, finally, I feel somewhere. And then I'll put it in my bag of holding.
Okay. And then, unfortunately, the mask was an extra dimensional space, so
Bummer.
the whole inn blows up. But actually, everyone has a good night's sleep, and then Denari, they're going to escort you to your new Oracle quarters. So we're the next day now, and the messengers, like I said, you don't seem to have a direct line to the Emperor anymore. There's a bunch of messengers flying around, taking you places and telling you things, and so they come and get Denari and take you to your new Oracle office, and they're sort of giving you the rundown of everything that's happened, and you have like a secretary who tells you that there is about 60 people who left on a pilgrimage to the Oracle at Zemdir in order to help repopulate it and get it back up and running, and that's almost 3 times as many people as were there before. So the Oracle at Zemdir is going to start being able, I mean, with that many people, if they all make it there alive, it's going to be a golden age out there.
It's really exciting. I'm happy.
And on your desk as well is a note from the Queen herself asking for your first prophecy. And a veilshade leaf has been supplied already for you to write it on.
Well, good news is I've cooked up my first prophecy.
And you're ready to deliver it to the world.
Sure am. Yep. I don't really want to read it though, so you can read it.
That's fine.
Nice.
So you roll up this message to, and then the messenger takes it to the Queen, and what it says is, "Be wary of the people from the north and those from the shining city, but do not let the others slip your mind." And as you're writing this, you feel a sort of a duality, sort of a confliction. So, maybe you said it in better words. Yes, more eloquently put, your prophecy says, "The north howls with cold deceit, and the shining city blinds with gilded lies. Yet, while you watch for wolves and kings, the quiet ones weave fate unseen. Beware not just the storm before you, but the whisper behind." Sorry, I didn't see your newest message. And you have sort of a duality in your head, sort of burning as you write this prophecy, because so much about writing these prophecies is about using your own intuition. And another phrase comes to your mind, but you choose the one that you just wrote on the veilshade leaf and gave it out. But another phrase comes to mind, another prophecy. It says, "Just as the phoenix rises, so shall it burn unyielding. Its resolve undeterred, drawing from the elements of its slumbering ashes, it carves new wisdom from each brilliant finale. Bursting radiance cascades over its acolytes, shooting stars that paint a night so calm. The way forward is in the darkness, its resolution at dawn." But you went with the
Wow.
other prophecy. About the north howling with cold deceit and the shining city blinding with gilded lies. And that's what the Queen will receive and probably will share with everyone else in the Empire. And it's around this time too that in the morning, a familiar Harengon arrives at the inn and is looking for Zumlin. And this brave Harengon has traveled all the way from the tribal Harengon village that you guys saw way before Viscarn. And her name is Moira. And she's looking for Zumlin. She's at the inn, asking around.
I guess I wouldn't be too far from the inn, or I would just be coming down if this is early in the morning.
Okay. Yeah, and you see her there, and she runs up to you awkwardly and says, "I'm so glad you're alive. I was so scared that I would never see you again."
Little, like, perplexed. Like, did you make it here all by yourself?
For the most part, yeah.
And you did it to find me?
Yes.
Well, you ever seen a flustered rabbit?
Flustered. Can't say I have.
Yeah, I'm gonna like not know exactly what to say, and
You're
just take a
beat
moment
up.
to.
You're super beat up. I mean, you haven't healed all from these wounds. And she's like, "Oh my goodness, can I help?"
I mean, technically, I am still poisoned.
uh, yeah.
So the help would be much appreciated. I'm sure I'm blood-stained still, and
She says that she knows medicine from the tribal Harengon ways. She was taught by the shamans, and she can sort of go around outside the outskirts of the city, and if you also go, she can gather the herbs and treat you with the old Harengon shaman medicines.
yeah, I'll go with her.
Okay. So you guys are heading out to become healed by Harengon medicine, and um, Surugar and Farron are being summoned by the Queen. Actually, the only people who seem to have some direct contact with the Queen at this point. So while you guys are in the inn, shortly in the morning, you get a message that says, "Hey, the Queen wants to talk to you both." Pretty much. What do you do?
Mm, I think I'm not going.
Okay.
I think yeah.
Yeah, you have some serious qualms with this.
Well, I'm too curious not to go. It gets the better of me.
Good luck, Farron. Try not to get too swept up in all of it.
So, uh, the messengers will be guiding Farron toward the palace, and as they're doing that, one of the Volguard approaches the inn and walks in and comes up to you, Surugar, and takes his helmet off, and you can see he's wearing a lot of the markings of a superior officer, and it's your old friend Ronan, and he says, "So," and he's he's a little beat up from these fights as well. You can tell he's a little bit uh, charred and beat up, sliced up, and he says, "So you're not going to take part in this new age, are you?"
I don't think so. I think I found my calling, and it is very far away from here.
He 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 has a sort of understanding in his face, but a disappointment as well, and he says, "It's really a shame because we were going to ask you to come back. I had a job for you, and it might not be what you expect."
Does it involve going to the land of the dead by chance?
He says, "It very well could."
Well, if it's a job for a friend, I'd be willing to consider it. But I don't think I could continue to serve the government as I once did.
He says, "We could call it that. I assumed you didn't want to wear this kind of unwieldy armor anymore. and have all these restrictions and expectations, but we were sort of curious about forming some kind of investigative front to look into these things that are occurring. Something that would be outside the city.
Okay. Okay, you can tell me the details.
Alright, so he starts telling you the details. And Farron is walking up to the palace, and they guide you through these elaborate courtyards, chambers, and mini plazas unto themselves, where you end up in a sort of training yard where there's a bunch of targets set up, and you see something that's so familiar to you, but that also seemed so far away. This figure of your mother is wielding a bow, and she's shooting at these targets far, far away. And you can see some arcane magic twisting in each of her arrows. Something you used to see her practice before. And she turns around when you enter, and she smiles at you and says, "This is all a bit strange, isn't it?"
Tell me about it. Like, seriously, how are you here?
Fortunately, I'm here because I must be. The Vashradar chose me, and I decided to listen to that calling and come back in this time of great need.
So you're just back recently?
That's right.
Like, just now?
Yep.
I feel like there's so many things I don't know about you that I didn't realize.
Well, you know why we had to flee the north in the first place.
That's true.
Why we had to be on the run. I think that's partially why I'm here. I'm so familiar with the enemies that we face.
The enemies are coming here?
That very well could happen if we're not vigilant and prepared.
You know, when I was a kid, I had no idea you were such good friends with the Emperor.
It was long before your time. You had no way of knowing.
He gave me this pretty cool armor.
That is pretty cool.
I'm curious, while you were in the place beyond, did you know what was happening here?
No, but when I passed away, this always seemed like it would be the worst outcome. What we escaped would come all the way to this great land and threaten it. Which is why I thought maybe it would come to this, and why I'm willing to help.
What can you do to help? I don't think I understand your role in all of this.
All these people here must be rallied behind a cause that they can see, that they can understand, and with these attacks from yesterday, it's only more obvious to everyone how dire everything is.
I would have to agree about that. So why did you call me here?
I called you here to make sure that you knew it was me, and to say, if everything goes according to plan, this is a mantle that you will never have to take up. And at the same time, I'm sorry that it has come to this.
So I can carry on my life as per normal and we can just be acquaintances?
We'll see.
No one needs to know. Does anyone else know that who you actually are?
I don't think so.
So
I'm
it'll
not
be our
saying that
little
as her,
secret.
but I'm saying like in general, like I don't even think that many people in the party know really, based on things you've said or things like that.
Mm. Yeah, I don't think I've shared very many like actual details about my family I mean, my reaction to you was weird, but I can just play it off like you seemed like you were undead. I was suspicious.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you need from me?
Not right now. You've done everything you could. You and your friends have proven incredibly competent. In fact, they're creating a statue in the plaza to honor your heroism.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And I may ask of the Mirage Breakers more in the future, but only time will tell.
Well, I'll take the break while I can. It's been a long journey.
Indeed. It has been a long journey. And
Yeah, I guess not as long as yours.
this is where we'll pick up in the future.
Ooh.
Somewhere around here. So,
All right.
I think next week we'll maybe have a short session 0 thing, and then after that we'll start the new one.
Awesome.
All right.
Exciting.
Sweet.
We're starting at level 1 in the next place, right?
Yeah.
With 35 EXP character. I can't even say it. You know what? If you get it, you get it.
23 point buy.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
And
I guess I gotta cut up.
I don't know if I wanted to save this a little bit, but when we play this again, when we come back to this, I'm just gonna say everyone's level 7. So if you just want to level up now, you can do that.
All right.
It's like a level 7 even.
Yep, everyone's even level 7 when we come back.
Is it-
Sick.
The XP's made up.
Yeah, it's not made up until we close the book, or the chapter. While the chapter is ongoing, it matters. And now I'm just happy everyone was around for this one, and pretty much everyone was here from start to finish. So that's good enough for me. So if everyone's still around when we get back to this, your characters will have probably done a couple things in the meantime. You know, maybe we'll say a week passed or 2 weeks or a month or something, and you could say what your characters did in that meantime, but they'll be level 7. So. Yep. All right.
Starting level for the next campaign is 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I accidentally read the wrong one, and I was like, "Oh, we're doing level 3 right off the rip."
So, yeah, next week let's just plan to hop in. I know Parthis can't make it, so let's have.
I'll try. I just will be drinking because that is my private defense. So
Okay. So, yeah, just sort of have an idea of your character. You don't have to have the whole character sheet made out, but just like in a session 0, we just talk about how everyone knows each other and like who your character is, your motivations and stuff. And then the week after that, we'll start the whole thing.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks
So-
for coming along for the ride. There's a lot more to
fun.
go.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jeez.
I'll see you guys next week in a new place.
See you later.
Next week.
Peace. Well done to you. A little. It's bittersweet. Yeah, B. We did the whole thing.